Okay, I want to get to some breaking news here on Weekend Today. We know that Donald Trump is right now campaigning in Pennsylvania. Well, a short time ago, and this is news just into the newsroom, gunshots rang out at his rally. Here's the moment.
See something that said, take a look at what happened.
These are extraordinary scenes out of Pennsylvania now. Gunshots ringing out, well, we believe, reports of gunshots. You can see just before Donald Trump, he then touched his face a couple of times and then fell to the ground. You can see security has swarmed him. He's right now underneath, where we can't see him at the moment, but he's just underneath where those security guards are. I believe we do have our US correspondent, Jono Kersley, down the line for us. Jono, what more do we know?
Well, at this stage, this is just unfolding, but extraordinary, terrifying scenes unfolding in Butler, Pennsylvania, as you showed those pictures just moments ago. Donald Trump was on stage at a rally in front of thousands of people who'd been gathered to hear him speak. He just finished criticising Joe Biden when he paused and shots rang out repeatedly. There were a number of what appeared to be shots that may have been fired that came in the direction of that area. And you heard the Secret Service agents on the microphone saying, move, move, move. We're obviously still waiting for more information on the ground as to exactly what is taking place. It appears as though that the former President Donald Trump did get up afterwards. We are being told that he did get up afterwards after this incident that has taken place in Butler, Pennsylvania. But as I say, this is just unfolding as we speak right now in Butler, Pennsylvania. Terrifying scenes unfolding there. Secret Service agents swooping on the former president. You have to look back when it comes to shootings of presidents in US history. Look at the likes of Abraham Lincoln, JFK obviously assassinated back in 1969, 1962. Ronald Reagan also shot at in the 1980s as well. Obviously, detail is still coming through about exactly what has taken place here today in Butler, Pennsylvania. But we do understand that the former President Donald Trump has got up after this incident, and I'm being shown images here. I can see these images now of Donald Trump back on his feet right now as we speak at that podium in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'm told those images are coming through right now. These are just extraordinary scenes unfolding in the United States of America. We now await to hear more on what exactly has taken place and more on what exactly unfolded there, and particularly how the former president actually is at the moment. So we will await more official confirmation of exactly what has taken place here. But still, these are shocking scenes for the thousands of people that had been gathered here in the United States of America at Butler in Pennsylvania for this rally. This country has been divided by politics over recent years, and you can see these images that are coming in now. They really are quite terrifying. But as I mentioned, these pictures that show Donald Trump, you can see that he appears to have at least some blood on his face at the moment, but we are waiting to hear more confirmation on his condition. There is blood on his ear, we are told. Yes, Clint?
I was just going to say, look, Donald Trump, you can see there raising his right fist in the air. He waves to his supporters. He's swamped by Secret Service. There's 5 or 6 Secret Service personnel who are shielding him. This is a scene of just utter chaos. What sort of security, just to give us an idea, you've been at many of these rallies, what sort of security surrounds and follows somebody like Donald Trump?
Oh, absolutely everything. He's got full Secret Service with him everywhere he moves. He travels in an incredibly large convoy. Whenever he is on the road, he has Secret Service detail attached to him at all times, personal protection that is always with him. That means not just at a rally like this, it means when he's moving to and from public events. It means he's got Secret Service also with him at his properties, wherever he may be staying, whether it is in New York or whether it is in Mar-a-Lago in Florida. But that's the kind of sort of security detail that travels with the former president himself. Joe Biden, the president, obviously has Secret Service detail attached to him as well. But those Secret Service detail, there'll be some in uniform, there'll be some who'll be plain clothes, and they are always ready. In fact, when he appears on stage at events like this, you quite often see the Secret Service standing off to one side. They are very, very close by for exactly scenes like this in order to move in and quickly protect either the president or a former president. Their job is to be personal protection. Their job also to be bodyguards to keep these high-profile individuals safe. But obviously, as to what took place today, you see the Secret Service very quickly pounce their guys.
Sorry to cut you off. He's certainly been injured. We have seen blood coming from his ear, but appears not too seriously injured. He did get up again, waving his fist defiantly before being whisked off in one of those security cars. We want to bring in former advisor to President Clinton, Laura Schwartz, now in Chicago. Laura, what's your reaction to this?
Well, Sophie, there's a couple of things going on here right now. If you look at the picture of the stage, your viewers should know that that apron in front of the stage covered by the red, white, and blue bunting, that is bulletproof. Depending on the podium that they choose to use, and often they do that based on risk factors and threat levels, would also be bulletproof. It looks like, though, they were using the lectern, which was not what we call the Blue Goose ordinarily. You saw the Secret Service around him get him into the car. Just like White House staff advanced the movements of the president, the Secret Service will have been on the ground at that rally site for about 5 days. And part of what they do is identify Trauma One centers in which, a case of emergency, they know where they're going to take the president to and how quickly they can get there. And that Trauma One Center would have doctors on alert for something just like this. The last thing I want to mention is that in the audience, that shooter somewhere or whatever object that they use to propel towards the president. So you also have undercover Secret Service and the help of assisted law enforcement. So they want to contain that threat right there. Now, as people go into the rally site with the former president, just like with the president himself, they have magnetometers set up, similar to what we passed through at the airport. Those magnetometers are set to certain levels, again, based on the threat level. Those magnetometers can be set so touchy that they can set off a foil from a piece of gum in your pocket. It can set it off. But if it's not that bad, then something could have gotten through. That'll be the big aftershock.
Laura, let's talk to these shots that we're seeing live now into our newsroom. We can see the big Donald Trump crowds, the supporters now streaming out. It looks like that rally in Pennsylvania has been called off. Donald Trump has been taken away by the Secret Service. Look, we don't have much context around exactly why this happened or exactly if Donald Trump was significantly injured. We'll get that shortly. But what could this do to his campaign? How could this sort of change the game? Does it have the potential to do so?
No, in fact, I would think that it would, especially because he appears okay, that Donald Trump would come back more defiant than ever, sort of like when he came back from COVID-19 and he raced up to the balcony of the South Portico. I would expect, as long as he's treated and released tonight, we would see something similar to that. He saw a bounce in his numbers among his own base after that, and I could see that happening to him again tonight. And get a boost and even more ardent supporters. You can say, hey, look at what they're trying to do to me. First, the Department of Justice tries to, try me for charges on Jan 6 and trying to find votes. He's talked about the weaponization of the Department of Justice. So this would kind of go right along with his with those messages that he's been doing.
Do you think this will stop public rallies, though, or reduce them? It's obviously going to increase security.
No, I don't think it would stop it. You're absolutely right, Sophie. I think it can increase the security. You can also do rallies in a different area. Usually you do not do them where you've got a periphery of tall buildings, because you can only put so many snipers on so many buildings and check all the windows and all the surrounding buildings. So it could be that they go to a different format. Still, he loves his adoring crowds, but outside it's less contained than, for example, inside a roofed stadium. We've seen him do stadium events before. So there's always something like that to be taken into consideration between the staff that know where they need Trump to go and how many people they want there, depending on his polling numbers and his messaging. And they work together with the Secret Service to say, okay, we can accommodate that, and Secret Service is outstanding to accommodate the most craziest of all requests. But there are definitely times that they say, let's do it here instead of there. Let's make the crowd size 1,000 less versus 2,000, that sort of
knowing
thing.
Donald Trump so well and seeing how he's been sort of behaving the last few months on the campaign trail, how do you expect the former president to react in the wake of this moment, this scare?
Oh, I think more determined than ever. He's going to use it to get additional votes. You know, Donald Trump, if anything, is just a very savvy professional when it comes to branding. Just like The Apprentice and all of his, patents and ice water, you name it. So he'll use this to his benefit for sure. Just thank God it looks like he's okay.
Extraordinary scenes out of Pennsylvania this morning. Laura Schultz, thank you so much for your insights. But Donald Trump, it appears, has been injured at that rally. We did see a bit of blood coming down at the side of his face near his ear, but it does appear that he hasn't been too seriously injured because he did get up again before being whisked away by that security.
You look at his reaction in that very moment, though. A significant scare, and he's pumping his fist, waving at his supporters. You can only expect that this moment, this incident, will just further mobilise that Donald Trump fan base. It could be an extraordinary turning point in what is already a wild, wild election. We'll have the latest on this news story as it comes to end. Stay with us on Weekend Today. More on this